This season, Paris Saint-Germain no longer boasts the glitzy names of Messi, Neymar, or Mbappé. Yet here they are, storming deep into the Champions League and chasing a historic quadruple. The big question is, how did a PSG side stripped of megastars become even more dangerous? When the overwhelming weight of expectation was lifted, something remarkable happened. Paris Saint-Germain evolved into a cohesive, well-drilled unit, playing some of the most disciplined, effective football in Europe. It's time to explore why this new version of Paris Saint-Germain is more terrifying than ever, both on and off the pitch. For years, PSG was synonymous with superstar power. Messi, Neymar, Mbappé, one Galactico followed another, every summer bringing a blockbuster signing. The club built an image of global stardom, but as the individual talent piled up, collective unity fell apart. In big matches, PSG often looked like a group of soloists rather than a symphony. The turning point came in the summer of 2023, when Messi and Neymar left Paris. But it wasn't until the summer of 2024, when Mbappé moved on, that PSG officially closed the chapter on its superstar era. Their departures didn't just impact the team tactically, they hit hard on the media front too. The club lost millions of social media followers, dropping from over 70 million to around 62 million. But with that loss came opportunity. PSG could finally rebuild from the ground up, focusing not on flash, but on foundation. President Nasser Al-Khelaifi also shifted gears. He openly admitted the failure of the club's 5-year Champions League plan and instead prioritized building a sustainable, long-term project over spending wildly on marquee names. The club invested 300 million euros into the Paris Saint-Germain campus, a new state-of-the-art training center, and shifted focus toward promising young talents like Vitinha, Barcola, João Neves, and Zaire Emery. Once criticized for being a Galacticos light, PSG is now a team reborn, less flashy, more focused. Quietly, they've become one of the most unified squads in Europe. Big games are no longer showcases for individual brilliance. Instead, they're a stage for collective grit and tactical cohesion. And at the heart of this transformation, Luis Enrique. From his very first day in Paris, Enrique made one thing crystal clear. No player is above the rules. Not Neymar, not Mbappé, not anyone. Even before Enrique's arrival, PSG had started trying to tighten discipline, but inconsistently. Take Lionel Messi's suspension in May 2023. After skipping training to fly to Saudi Arabia without permission, he was fined and temporarily suspended. Although he apologized and the punishment was reduced, it was a rare moment when PSG dared to confront a global icon. But under Enrique, consistency became the norm. He implemented a strict attendance system. Every player must sign in before training, injured or not. No signature, no training. This put an end to the long-standing culture of untouchables in the squad. Even Kylian Mbappé wasn't exempt. During his contract standoff with the board, Enrique didn't freeze him out completely, but did limit his playing time, subbing him off mid-game to send a message. No one is irreplaceable. It was a tactful yet firm approach, preserving team form while upholding core values. Ousmane Dembélé is another prime example of Enrique's balance between discipline and patience. When Dembélé showed up late for training, Enrique dropped him from the Champions League clash against Arsenal. No questions asked. When he picked up a red card against Bayern, he was benched for 2 more matches. But then Enrique brought him back and gave him a central role as a false 9, a move that paid off in style. Dembélé now has 32 goals this season, the best tally of his entire career. Enrique knows when to be tough and when to extend a helping hand. He doesn't just demand discipline from his players, he lives it himself. Known for his rigorous personal routine, he trains regularly, follows a strict diet, and even drops down for push-ups during long meetings just to keep his body engaged. In the beginning, Luis Enrique spoke entirely in Spanish during tactical meetings, ensuring every detail was conveyed with absolute clarity. He even recorded personal instructions for each player, had them accurately translated, and sent them individually. Everyone knew their exact role. There was no room for confusion. But Enrique never let language become a barrier. Determined to fully integrate, he started learning French himself. Less than a year in, he now understands most conversations in French and has begun using it regularly in team meetings. He even gave a post-match interview in French after PSG's dramatic win over Aston Villa in the Champions League quarter-finals. A small gesture, but one that significantly strengthened the bond between coach, players, and fans. Enrique's effort to learn the language reflects a broader policy within PSG. All players now attend French lessons, helping foster a unified environment where communication flows across the squad, breaking down the cliques and silos that plagued past versions of the club. Unlike previous PSG squads, where even long-serving players made little effort to learn French, Enrique's team is building a culture rooted in connection, not just on the pitch, but off it too. Since Enrique's arrival, PSG has no longer been a place where superstars operate above the rules. Every player is part of a clear, disciplined system, one where the collective always comes first, and that's become the foundation for PSG's transformation, from a club often doubted for its fighting spirit to a squad willing to sacrifice for each other. The shift isn't only seen in the dressing room, it's reflected in how PSG recruits. In the past, this club was a magnet for established superstars, with blockbuster signings expected to bring immediate Champions League glory. But today, PSG is walking a different path, one that focuses on long-term growth and nurturing young talent. That change began in earnest after the summer of 2022, when Luis Campos took over as transfer advisor. Since then, PSG has targeted promising young players who may not be media sensations yet, but are full of potential. Vitinha, 22, Nuno Mendes, 20, and later Bradley Barcola, Desiré Doué, João Neves, and Ivica Kvaratskhelia are clear examples. This approach hasn't been flawless. Signings like Randall Kolo Muani and Manuel Ugarte have yet to meet expectations. But overall, PSG is slowly forming a young, energetic, and combative squad. The average age this season? Just 23.8, a far cry from the veteran-heavy lineups of the past. Importantly, PSG is also leaning into French talent again, or at least players who are likely to stay and grow with the team. The arrivals of Desiré Doué, Bradley Barcola, and Lucas Hernandez highlight a new focus on building a PSG that reflects French footballing identity, rather than relying solely on imported stardom. With fewer Galacticos comes another benefit: financial freedom. PSG has slashed its wage bill, escaping the enormous pressure that came with keeping Messi, Neymar, and Mbappé. According to Deloitte, even though commercial revenue dipped slightly, PSG still posted a record-breaking €806 million in total revenue for 3 straight years, thanks to reduced wages and more efficient operations. Transfers are no longer a race to make headlines. They're part of a long-term strategy built around Enrique's philosophy. Young players now come to PSG with the goal of being part of a real team, not just a stepping stone for stardom. It's a very different PSG. From the locker room to the pitch, Enrique's PSG is a united front. No longer reliant on any single individual, they operate within a well-drilled system. This is a team that knows how to play, and more importantly, how to control games in Enrique's signature style: high possession, relentless pressing, and collective effort across every line. This season, PSG has averaged nearly 70% possession per game, the highest in Ligue 1. But they don't keep the ball just to show off. They do it to suffocate opponents, cutting off build-up play and forcing them into mistakes. On average, PSG wins the ball back nearly 10 times per match in the opponent's half, a testament to their aggressive press and front-foot mentality. Up front, even without Mbappé, the attack has become more fluid and unpredictable. Ousmane Dembélé, now operating as a false nine, has emerged as the key link. Scoring, yes, but also stretching defenses with his wide movements. On the wings, young speedsters like Bradley Barcola, Ivica Kvaratskhelia, and Desiré Doué bring energy, unpredictability, and flair. A trademark of this PSG side is their positional fluidity in the final third, constantly rotating and switching roles to keep defenses guessing. Even when fullbacks push high, leaving gaps behind, Enrique's collective defensive structure, anchored by Gianluigi Donnarumma, holds strong. The team is bold enough to press high, yet quick enough to recover when needed. Luis Enrique has created a PSG that controls matches, not just with the ball, but with space, rhythm, and structure. They keep possession not to showcase skills, but to dictate tempo. They press not out of desperation, but to impose their game. And when it's time to strike, they have the speed and sharpness to kill off games in an instant. From a superstar-dependent team, PSG has evolved into a genuine unit, where discipline and cohesion come before ego. Under Luis Enrique's leadership, they've quietly built a rock-solid foundation, from the locker room to the training ground to the pitch. As club president Nasser Al-Khelaifi put it, even if we lose in the semi-finals or the final of the Champions League, it won't be a disaster because we're committed to a long-term plan. And make no mistake, PSG will remain at the top of European football for years to come, waiting patiently for the right moment to chase that elusive Champions League crown. Because for this version of PSG, the true goal isn't just a single trophy, it's building a legacy that lasts,